Hey, what's going on? I'm Illegal Miss, and today I'm going to show you how to auto your Hydra keys with RSL Helper to make sure that you get the damage that you want. Let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you download RSL Helper. If you have any questions on how to download it, I'll link my video in the description below. Once we have RSL Helper open, we want to go in and choose the Hydra difficulty that we want to complete. For this example, I'll use a hard team. I'll just click on battle, and then I'll have this stage pulled up. I want to make sure that I have the proper team, so I'll go into my team setup, I'll choose the team, and then when I have RSL Helper open so that you all can see it, what we want to do from here is click on the arrow or the pencil looking item in the bottom left. Once I click that, it'll pull up Content Wizard and it'll say choose your content area. From here, I'll click on the Hydra head, and then I can choose my requirements for it. So for example, if I had a team that was sometimes able to do a 1 key, but not always, I could choose auto target damage. And what that'll do is whatever difficulty of Hydra I have chosen, it'll make sure that I get the top chest for that difficulty before stopping. If I do a run and it doesn't get the top chest on that difficulty, it'll automatically reset my team. So that way I go in again and then I'll have the chance again to get the highest chest. So if I click auto target damage and then I click apply setting or apply the requirements, and then I click on the arrow for start run with current values, it'll go in and it'll automatically start the run. This run will now play out until I get the 1 key damage, and it'll continue the run. It'll essentially do as much damage as it can, and then it will stop and it won't reset my Hydra key. It'll just leave it on the finish screen. So let's go to that and then I'll show you what to do. Okay, for simplicity's sake, I'll just end the run. So we can see after the run ends, it didn't reset anything, and it shows our last achieved damage of 94 million, and it actually shows the runtime, and it doesn't show the turn count for whatever reason. But we can see again that matches up with what I did for damage here with the 94 million. And we'll give an example of if a run fails. So I'll go back in to the RSL Helper. I'll click on the Hydra again, and then instead of having auto target damage, I'm just gonna set the damage target to we'll just do a ridiculous amount. So we'll do I think that's 500 million. So wish this team could do that, but unfortunately it can't. And just to reset it all, I'll go back in. And again, we'll double check that everything is set up correctly. And again, I'll click the apply requirements. I can click on the arrow in the top right just to make it easier. And then I can click the start. Once I do that, my Hydra run has now started. And if I go in and I were to manually end the battle, we can see it automatically pulls up and it resets the Hydra run. So if I'm not able to achieve the damage, and we could just say it's the 1 key damage, 100 mil, whatever number you set, if for whatever reason your run doesn't work, it'll automatically go in and it'll reset the run. So I'll do another example where a team actually dies, just so you can see that it works. Okay, this example I'm going to use just one regular champion and a bunch of food champions so we can see what happens when the run actually dies instead of when I end it. So again, I can go in, I have auto target damage set, or I can go in and just simply click Nightmare Max, Hard Max, Brutal, whichever difficulty I want the max damage for. So for this example, I'm doing a hard Hydra run. So I have Hard Max clicked. Again, I can just choose auto target damage. I want to make sure I click the apply the requirements. I click it twice just because it kind of highlights it and highlights it again. I want to make sure that it does it properly. I'll click the arrow to go back here, and then I will click the green start button to start run with the current values. So now the run's running, and we can see what happens if our team actually dies instead of me ending the battle. All right, so this time Razzlevarg ends up dying, and it once again goes in, it resets the whole Hydra run, and it starts everything from scratch. So if you have a team that's a little more volatile, but they can potentially do an insane amount of damage, it's really easy to go in, set up RSL Helper to auto do Hydra, and then you'll be able to consistently get that 1 key damage, whether you want to do it overnight or when you're going out instead of actually having time to play the game. You can just have it set up so that it automatically keeps redoing these runs and gives you the highest chance of getting whatever damage you need. Last week I was able to do this with a team that I wasn't totally sure would work, but I didn't have a lot of time on my hands to make sure that I had the right champions. So for my brutal team, I was like, you know, I kind of have all the stuff that I need. I'm just going to go in and set it to auto do, and then I'm going to set it to a damage number that's pretty high, which I don't think the team will reach, but if it does, it would be awesome for Hydra Clash. I did it and I ended up getting a PB on Brutal, so it's really an effective way to test out teams, see how volatile or not volatile they are, and then also get the proper damage that you want for your Hydra Clash, or just to get the top chest on Hydra. One thing to note, I think Farbsoft fixed it in the most recent update, but if for some reason your runs are stopping after a certain amount of fails, you can go in and try and change one of the settings. If we go into the settings tab right next to the donate button, which I highly recommend you donate to Farbsoft, as he's probably going to save you tens or hundreds of hours depending on how much you play Raid. Under the settings menu, we just want to go down to the general, which is all the way to the bottom, and on the right hand side it'll say max lose fights in a row. That number may change for your account, but on mine right now it's set to 2. Sometimes I noticed where it would stop running my Hydra runs after a certain amount of failures, and I think it was because of this. So if for whatever reason you're having issues where you're not running Hydra as often as you want because it keeps failing and the RSL helper stops, try and go in and change that setting. If that doesn't work, I'd also recommend closing Raid and RSL helper and then reopening with RSL helper, so that way everything opens at the same time and it will potentially fix any issues you're having. Other reasons that your RSL helper might not automatically reset your Hydra runs, you could have the wait time after the fight, or some of these general auto clicker settings set too low, meaning it'll automatically try and switch everything too quickly and then the game will kind of bug out. So I'd recommend, if you're having any issues, you can try my settings, which generally seem to work pretty well for me. But if these ones aren't working, or the ones that you're using aren't working, try and set the numbers higher, maybe a couple seconds for the wait time after the fight, or general battle click wait time. You can try and set that to 200 or more milliseconds. Okay guys, that's everything I have on RSL helper and how to use it for Hydra. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.